Welcome to online discussion on Transfer of Property Act. Let us discuss the provisions regarding gift in the Act. Gift has been defined in section 122 of the Transfer of Property Act. How it has been defined? You know, gift is always made voluntarily and without consideration. Sometimes you skip up to understand. Always gift is to be made of existing property. There cannot be a gift for future property. And the property which has been gifted, the gift is to be accepted by the donor during the lifetime of the donor and when he was still capable of giving. Now, this is, you should know the concept of gift. Gift has been defined. Gift is the transfer of certain existing movable or immovable property. Here, section 122, both movable and movable property, how that gift will be made, that has been mentioned. That has been defined. Gift is transfer of existing property means the property must be in existence. Existing movable and immovable property made voluntarily and without consideration. These two words, voluntarily made and without consideration. What is without consideration? Consideration has not been defined in the Transfer of Property Act. We find the definition of consideration in the Indian Contract Act. What is consideration? If at the desire of the promisor, the promisee or any other person does something or promises to do something, has done something, and promises to and has promised to do something, or promises to do something that is past, present, and future. Such act or abstinence is called the consideration. So here, in gift, no consideration is required. Sometimes there may be a confusion that due to love and affection, a gift is made, and that love and affection may be treated as consideration. No. Love and acceptance, many give always, most of the time gifts are made due to love, affection, and for spiritual purpose of the donor. But those are not to be treated as consideration. Always consideration must be monetary consideration. So that's why what it says, gift is the transfer of certain existing movable or immovable property made voluntarily and without consideration by one person or the donor. The person who transfers that property voluntarily without consideration is called the donor. To another called the donee. The transfer which is made to the person is called donee and accepted by or on behalf of the donee. The donee must accept the gift or any other person may accept the gift on behalf of the donor. So that this definition is there in gift. Then how acceptance, when acceptance is to be made? So this acceptance when to be made, that has been provided in subsequent paragraph. Such acceptance, that the acceptance of gift must be made, must word is there, during lifetime of the donor and while he is still capable of giving. Suppose before acceptance, the donor has become insane, still capable, is not capable of giving, still capable of giving, then that acceptance will not be treated. If the donor dies before acceptance, the gift is void. Again, it has been clarified. If the donor dies before acceptance, the gift will be treated as void. In this context, you should know gift mortius causa. Gift's mortius causa is not there here in section 122. It is there as per the Mohammedan law. When a person is anticipating death, he may make a gift. So that is not gift. Is a gift of personal property made in expectation of donor's death and on condition that the donor dies as anticipated. If that person dies, then only that person will get. That is gift motus causa. It is not dealt here. That now gift by will also, by making a will, there may be gift of property that is there under the Indian Succession Act. So, what are the essentials of a gift? Once you understand the concept of gift, the definition of gift correctly, then it will not be, it will remain in your mind for all time, forever. What is that? It is a voluntary transfer without consideration of existing movable or movable property made by a person called donor to another who is called donee and accepted by the donor. When acceptance is to be made, such acceptance of the donee must be made, or any other person who accepts the gift on behalf of the donor, that must be made during lifetime of the donor. If prior to acceptance, the donor dies, the gift becomes void. Not only that, during lifetime of the donor and still capable of giving, that is also very important. If during lifetime, if the now, but acceptance is made after the donor's capacity to, the donor's capability to give that property is over, then that will not be a valid acceptance. So the essential of this gift, as you know, gift here inter vivos by one living person to another living person. This is also a transfer inter vivos. Gift are, what are those ingredients? There must be first, absence of consideration. Second, there must be a donor, the person. The second, the person made is called donee. That the subject matter of the property must be, that is given property, that must be in existence. There must be intention of the donor to give that property, delivery of possession to the donor, delivery of the property, and acceptance of gift by the donor. So you are aware what is will. Will is a declaration of a person that will get his property after his death. That is governed under the Indian Succession. Will is something different from gift. Property must be existing. Unless the property is in existence, that property can. Then voluntarily, what? So motto, because the popular meaning, denoting also free will. Out of free will of somebody, gift is made. So that is technically without consideration. So that is gift without consideration. Gift is a transfer without consideration. So here only daughter who promises to sometimes some property is gifted to a person by his promise to maintain somebody. So whether that will be gift or not. So here, where a mother gives property to her only daughter who promises to maintain the former throughout her life, the promise is not enforceable value because the gift has to be for natural love and affection and not for any consideration. It is no consideration either. So here it is without consideration. Transfer without consideration, and if there is any consideration in any shape, it is not to be treated as gift. Any consideration. We are a discharge the date of the transfer is and valid consideration. Suppose somebody promises to discharge the debt of another, that will also be treated as consideration. He will pay the money. Suppose, but the love and affection will not, because of love and affection, spiritual or moral benefit is not contemplated by this. Spiritual purpose, spiritual benefit of somebody makes a gift, that will not be treated as a consideration. Love, affection, spiritual benefit, and other similar condition may motivate a donor to make a gift, but that will not be treated as consideration. So by now you have understood the provisions of gift. That is, there must be an intention of a gift. You see? So here, that is, a gift is a transfer, but there is a monetary consideration is absent, that itself shows there is an intention. Love, affection, spiritual benefit, and any other factors may motivate a person to give some property. but that will be treated as intention. So who can be a donor? If a donor, anybody who can be a donor? Any person who is competent to enter a contract can be a donor. So other than a minor, a person may be a donor. Similarly, donee, any person may be a donee. Even a minor can become a donee. A DT can become a donee. DT under Hindu law, DT under Hindu law, DT is regarded as a juristic person, a perpetual minor. So here, a property can be gifted to a DT or idol or for that purpose. The person must be specified person. So acceptance must be either expressly or implied. Suppose in the gift deed, it has been mentioned that possession of the property gifted has already been given to the donee. That amounts to an acceptance. So in all types of gifts, the presumption will be that gift has been accepted, except onerous gift. Onerous gift is that gift where the donee is required to discharge some burden of the donor. That is onerous gift. So the gift must be accepted by the donee or by someone on his behalf. So if gift is not accepted, that's the word. Gift is not accepted during lifetime of the donor, and when still he was capable of giving, that gift becomes void. That gift becomes void. Now, this is now section 123 says how a gift is to be. Always all types of gifts of immovable property must be by registered instrument and attested. At least the instrument must be attested by 2 or more witnesses. So far as this movable property is concerned, when the movable property is gifted, that can be effected by delivery of possession. Suppose I want to gift my car. I gifted my car. Simply delivering possession of my car, the gift is completed. But if I gift my immovable property, I make a gift of my immovable property of any value, irrespective of any value, that must be through a registered document, and that document must have been attested at least by 2 or more witnesses. This is the requirement of law. What the law requires? Section 123 provides, for the purpose of making a gift of immovable property, well, for the purpose of making gift of immovable property, the transfer must be effected by a registered instrument signed by or on behalf of the donor. That instrument means document. Transfer must be effected by the donor, by a registered instrument signed by the donor or any other person on his behalf. Suppose he is power of attorney holder, any other agent, on his behalf he signed, and attested by at least 2 witnesses. At least 2 witnesses. More witnesses may not be required, but minimum 2 witnesses. Attested the execution must be attested by 2 witnesses, at least by 2 witnesses. How a gift of immovable property is made? A gift of immovable property can be made, or is to be made, only by registered instrument, and that instrument is execution is signed by the donor or any other person on his behalf, and attested by at least 2 witnesses. For the purpose of making a gift of movable property, suppose a movable property is to be gifted, the transfer may be effected either by a registered instrument signed as aforesaid or by delivery. So when a movable property is gifted, gift of movable property is made by the donor, then such a gift may be made either by registered instrument or by simply by delivery of possession, delivery of that property, not delivery of that, physically handing over that property to the donor. Such delivery may be made in the same way as goods sold may be delivered, in the manner in which goods sold is delivered. How goods sold is delivered? When a goods sold is delivered, that is physically that property, that goods is handed over to the purchaser. So such delivery of property, so far as movable property is concerned, if such a gift is made of movable property, then the property is to be delivered in the manner in which goods are delivered on sale. So this is section 1. So it is very simple section. All gifts of movable property must be done only by registered instrument and attested by that signed by the donor or any other person on his behalf and attested by at least 2 witnesses. When a movable property is gifted, that may be effected either by registered instrument, signed by the donor or any other person on his behalf or attested by 2 witnesses, or by delivery of that goods to the donor, that movable property to the donor. Such delivery of movable property will be made in the manner in which goods are delivered after sale. Now section 123 is over. Let us discuss the provisions of section 124. What it provides? 124 provides gift of existing and future property. When a gift is made, both of existing and future property, what will be considered? In such case, the entire gift is void. So what is case? You may not be confused that when a gift is made of existing property and of future property, in a same transaction, in a one document or through a one deed, then sometimes you may confuse that so far as the existing property is concerned, the property donor should get, and so far future property is concerned, the donor will not get. But that is not the law. Section 124 says, a gift comprising both existing and future property is void. What is as to the latter? Latter here only future property. There may not be confusion. It is void only so far as future property is concerned. But gift is made existing property, that is void. Suppose a property, I gave my property, immediate property of a particular property, and along with that, whatever property I get on the death of my father, that will be given. So far section 125 says a gift comprising both existing and future property is void. As to the latter means so far as future property is concerned. So gift regarding when it is made, both of existing property, gift always is to be made so far as existing property is concerned. Existing property, not of a future property. But if in the same transaction, comprising both existing and future property, then the gift of future property is void. But now section 125, give to several of whom one does not accept. Similarly, suppose gift has been made to 3 persons of a particular property. If one of the several donees, one of the donee did not accept, so in such case, the interest or the right of other donee will not be affected. So in such case, the donee who did not accept, then gift will be treated as void so far as his share is concerned. What it says? A gift of a thing to 2 or more donees, of whom one does not accept, it is void as to the interest which would have taken hardy action. That means when a gift is made in favor of 2 to 3 persons and one of them did not accept, then the gift is void as against the person interest which would have taken hardy action. This is section 125. Now, section 126, most of the time you get a question directly. Can a gift be cancelled? Can a gift be revoked? That has been, that is, such provisions are there regarding revocation of the gift, regarding cancellation of gift in section 126. What it says? The donor and donee may agree that on the happening of any specified event which does not depend on the will of the donor, a gift shall be suspended or revoked. So donor and donee may agree that on the happening of a particular event which does not depend on the sweet will of the donor, the gift may be suspended or revoked. Suppose a property is gifted to a particular person with a condition, putting a condition that he will not marry within age 30, within 30 years, then gift can be suspended. So here, such a happening does not depend on the sweet will of the donor. So such a condition can be made, and in such case, that gift can be cancelled. Suppose there is a condition in the gift, a property is gifted, putting a condition that the donor can suspend or revoke that gift at any time according to his will. So that is not valid. So in such a gift cannot be cancelled. So what it says? The donor and donee may agree, both donor and donee may agree, that on the happening of any specified event, then the happening of a specified event, which does not depend on the sweet will of the donor, the gift may be suspended or revoked. But a gift which the parties agree shall be revocable only or in part, and the mere will of the donor is void wholly or in part, as the case may be. So what is it? So when in a gift there is a condition that the gift can be suspended wholly or partly at the sweet will of the donor. In such case, that the gift is void, that gift is void, either wholly or partly. So if there is a condition, or if a gift is made, putting a condition, that can be suspended or revoked at the sweet will of the donor. Then in such case, that gift is void. Suppose two properties were gifted and condition was put that in respect of one of the property as partly that gift can be suspended or cancelled at the will of the donor. Then gift in respect of the part property, in respect of as regards there is a condition for suspension revocation of gift as per the sweet will of the donor. Then the gift, so far as that part property is void. So you should remember. You must but a gift, suppose there is a gift deed. In the gift deed, it has been mentioned that the gift can be suspended or this gift can be cancelled at the suite. As whenever the donor desires, he can suspend or revoke the gift. So in such case, that gift is a void gift. That gift is a void gift. But if a condition is that gift can be suspended or revoked on the happening of an event, which does not depend on the sweet will of the, or the only on the sweet will of the donor, then such a condition is, if such a condition is that gift is valid. But when in a gift there is a condition that gift can be revoked either wholly or partly at the desire, at the will of the mere will is very important, at the mere will of the donor, then that gift will be void so far as the whole or part is concerned. That is a condition. Section 126, Mr. Must not confuse. Can a gift be cancelled? The answer is that yes, gift can be cancelled when the donor and the donee have agreed in the gift that can be cancelled or revoked, suspended or revoked on the happening of an event which does not depend on the mere will of the donor. So that is valid. So in such case, that gift can be suspended. But when in a gift there is a condition that gift can be suspended or revoked at the mere will of the donor, though in such case that the entire gift is void. Entire gift is void. A gift may also be revoked in any of the cases, save want or failure of consideration, in which, if it were a contract, it might be discarded. Suppose another thing is that a gift may also be revoked in any of the cases, save want or failure of consideration, in which, if it were a contract, had there been a contract, it may be discarded. So here, there may be certain gifts, there may be like a contract, but not failure of consideration. A gift may also be revoked in any of the cases, save want or failure of consideration, in which, if it were a contract, it might be discarded. What is that? That means, suppose there is a fraud, there is some, there is no free consent, on which the contract can be rescinded. But for failure of consideration, the gift cannot be rescinded. So gift can be revoked when, in the same manner in which a contract is rescinded, except for want of consideration. When a contract is rescinded, suppose there is no free consent, there is coercion, fraud, that is this types of there, or there is no capacity of the parties, this kind of contracts. So a gift may also be revoked in any of the cases, save want of failure, except in which, if it were a contract, it might be rescinded. Had it been a contract, in contract when a contract is rescinded, if any of the condition is found in the gift, then on that ground, that gift can be what? Revoked. For example, I undue influence. By exercising undue influence, somebody obtained a property by gift. So that can be discounted if that is proved. Because had it been a contract on the ground of undue influence, coerce, or suppose I threatened somebody and he gifted something. So if that is proved, that gift can be discarded. So first, when a gift can be cancelled or suspended, if there is a condition, if there is an agreement between the donor and the donee, that on the happening of an event which does not depend on the mere will of the donor, then the gift can be suspended or revoked. Then in such case, that can be done. But when there is a condition in the gift that can be suspended or revoked at the mere will of the donor, then in such case the entire gift is void. Entire gift is void. Then a gift may be revoked or suspended, revoked or cancelled. Revoked in any case, in the same manner in which, had it been a contract, then the same would have been rescinded. On what are the grounds? Suppose there is no capacity of party. Suppose in this person the donor was incompetent to enter a contract, or there was no free consent. But other than want of consideration, a contract may be rescinded due to want of consideration, but that is not applicable in case of gift. Same as aforesaid, a gift can be revoked. So a same as aforesaid gift can be revoked. In such case, nothing contained in this section shall be deemed to affect the rights of transferee for consideration without notice. Suppose on this ground a gift can be revoked, but if the gift property has been transferred to another person for consideration without notice of such a condition of revoking the gift, then in such case that gift cannot be. But that will not be affected. So say, as aforesaid, a gift cannot be revoked, except that a gift can be revoked. Nothing contained in this section shall be deemed to affect the right of a transferee. A gift can be revoked on these grounds, but that will not affect the right of a transferee of the gift property, subsequent transferee of the gift property from the donee for consideration. Illustration will make it clear. A gives a field to B, reserving to himself with B's assent the right to take back the field in case B and his descendants die before A. B dies without descendants in age later. A may take back the field because there is a condition, but the agreement that on the happening of an event which does not depend on the mere will of the donor, the gift can be revoked. This illustration as provided A applies to this principle. So in such case, the gift can be revoked. A gives a lakh of rupees to B, reserving to himself with B's assent the right to take back at pleasure of 10,000 out of 1 lakh. So 10,000 out of pleasure 1 lakh. So here, because certain of the part of the property of 10,000, the gift is void. But other 19 lakh or 1,000, that is valid. So here, the gift holds good as 90,000, but is void up to 10,000, which continue to belong to A. This is section 126. What you should, some difficulty may come to understand the provisions in section of section 126. What it says, if only if in a gift deed there is a condition, such a gift can be revoked either fully or partly at the sweet will of the donor, then such gift is void either wholly or partly as the case. So besides, a gift can be revoked. When had it been a contract, on those grounds a contract can be rescinded except the want of consideration, except the condition of want of consideration, then a gift can be cancelled. So this is provision of section 126. Now let us decide the provisions. Discuss the provisions of section 127. What 127 provides? That is onerous gift. Most of the time, the question, direct question comes, what is onerous gift? Onerous gift is that gift where the donor is required to discharge some burden of the donor on taking that property. That is gift. Where a gift is in the form of a single transfer, there must be a single transfer to the same person of several things, of which one is, and the others are not burdened by obligation. The donor can take nothing by the gift unless he accepts it. There is a single document, single transfer, and in the gift, two properties were gifted to the donor. In respect of one property, there is a burden to be discharged by the donor. Then, and in respect of another property, there is no such burden. So in such case, the gift will not take place unless the donor accepts the burden, accepts the gift in full. He cannot take the property on which there is no burden to discharge. And he will decline to take the property on which there is a burden to discharge. This is onerous gift. Onerous gift means onerous gift is made subject to certain charges imposed by the donor on the donor. Some burden, such charges is imposed by the donor on the donor. What onerous gift says? It has not been defined, but it says, indirectly it says, where a gift is in the form of a single transfer. There is one transfer. And in this same transfer, same person, transfer to one person, several things are transferred. Several things are transferred. One is, and the others are not burdened by any obligation. One of that property is burdened by an obligation. This is some liability, burdened with some obligation. Then the donor will not take nothing. That means the donor will not take none of the property unless he accepts the gift in full. But where a gift in the form of two or more separate and independent, suppose the gift are made through two or independent transfer. First, there is one gift in respect to one property, and in respect to another property, there is a second gift where there is a burden. So in such case, the donor has the option to take the property which is not burden and to decline to take the property in respect to which is equal to discharge in obligation. What it says? Where a gift is in the form of two or more separate and independent transfer. You should understand. Separate and independent transfer. In case of that, there is one transfer. So when gift is made in respect of several properties through separate and independent transfer to the same person of several things, the donor is at liberty to accept one of them and refuse the others. Although the former may be beneficial and the latter onerous. So this section 127 provides that when through a single transfer, two or more things, more properties are transferred to the same person, to the same donor, and one of the property is burdened with an obligation to be discharged by the donor, then the donor will not get nothing of that property unless he accepts the gift in full. That means he accepts the burden and also the, on which, in respect of the property for which he is required to discharge obligation, and also the property in respect of which is not required to discharge obligation. But when several things are transferred to same person through two or separate transfers, then in such case, he has liberty to transfer. The donor has the liberty to accept the gift in respect of the property in respect of which there is no obligation to be discharged, and to refuse to accept the gift in respect of which there is an obligation to discharge. This section says, where a gift is in form of two or more separate and independent transfer to the same person of several things, the donee is at liberty to accept one of them and refuse the others, although the former may be beneficial and the latter is onerous gift to disqualified person. Can there be an onerous gift to a disqualified person? Who is a disqualified person? Disqualified person is a minor or an insane person. So there may be disqualified person. What is that? A donee not competent to contract and accepting property burdened by an obligation is not bound by his acceptance. Suppose a donee not competent, a minor, is not competent to the contract and accepting property burdened by an obligation is not bound his acceptance. Is not bound. But if after becoming competent to contract, after becoming pleasure, or if any person himself becoming sane, and being aware of the obligation, he retains the property given, he becomes so bound, then he is bound. This is that is section 127. A donee who is incompetent to contract, if he accepts the property which is onerous, that is in respect of which he is bound to discharge an obligation, then he is not bound to discharge. He is not bound by that acceptance. That means he is not bound to discharge that obligation. But after he is becoming competent to enter a contract and he is aware of that obligation, and thereafter he retains the property, given, then he becomes bound to discharge the obligation. This is section 1. We will go through what is onerous gift. Onerous gift has not been defined, but a gift in respect of which, in respect of the property for which the donee is required to discharge some obligation of the donor, that will call to another person, that is called onerous gift. If in a single transfer, two properties transfer, one is burdened with an obligation and the other is not burdened with an obligation, then the donee will not get nothing of that property unless he accepts the gift in full. That means both the burden and in respect of the property in which there is an obligation to discharge, and the property in respect of which there is no obligation to discharge. But if several things are transferred to separate and distinct separate transfers, two or more transfers, then in such case the donee has a right to accept, has a liberty to accept the gift of the gift of the property in respect of which he is beneficial to him, there is no burden is to be discharged, and also to refuse the property in respect of which burden is to be discharged. Similarly, what is that? Disqualified person. When a gift is burden, there is a onerous gift in respect of to a person who is incompetent to enter a contract, and he accepts, then he is not bound by that acceptance to discharge that obligation. But once he becomes competent to enter a contract, then and is aware of the fact that he is required to discharge an obligation in respect of that gift, and he retains that property, then he is bound by the contract, by the onerous, by the burden to discharge this. This is section 127. Now let us come to provision of section 128. What is universal donee? What is sometimes you get universal? Universal donee means what? All the properties of the donor are gifted to the donee. What it says? Subject to the provisions of section 127. 127 is onerous gift, where a gift consists of the donor's whole property. When the gift consists of the whole property of the donor, the donor is personally liable for all the debts due by and liabilities of the donor at the time of the gift to the extent of the property comprised therein. What section 127? 128 proves? When the entire property of the donor is gifted. All the properties of the donor are gifted to the donor. And the donor accepts. Donor accepts the gift. Then in such case, he is liable to, in respect of that property, to others, in the same manner in which the donor was liable. But to the extent of the value of the property which he had got. This is section 128. Subject to the provision of section 127, that is onerous gift. where a gift consists of the donor's whole property. The gift consists of the donor's whole property. The donor is personally liable for all the debts due by and liability of the donor. In such case, the donor will be liable for all the debt of the donor and liabilities of the donor up to what time? By the time when the gift was made. On the day on which such a gift was made. On that day, whatever for all the debts which the debtor had, which the donor had in a debt got, that is all the debts for which the debtor was liable. In such case, the donor will be liable for all the debts of the donor. And not only that, he will also be liable he will also discharge all the liabilities of the donor. On the date when such liability or such debts were due on the date of the gift. But to the extent of the property comprised therein, means what? Suppose X, the donor, gifted all his properties of valued as 10 lakh rupees. And on the date of the gift, there was liability of 8 lakh rupees of the donor to others. So in such case, the donor will be liable to pay up to 8 lakh rupees. Suppose all the properties of the donor, valued at 10 lakh rupees was given to the donor. But on that day, the liability of the donor was to pay up to 20 lakh. So in such case, whether the donor will pay the rest, that 10 lakh rupees from his own pocket, the answer is only the donor will be liable to pay to the extent of to the maximum extent, maximum value of the property which has been paid. That is up to 10 lakh. So this is section 128, subject to the provisions of section 127, where a gift consists of the donor's whole property. When in a gift, the whole property of the donor is gifted to the donor, then in such case, donor will be liable for all the debt of the donor and also all the liabilities of the donor to the extent of the value of the property that is gifted. That is section 128. 129 says saving of donatio mortis causa and Mohammedan. Under Mohammedan law, gift can be made by a Mohammedan contemplating death. When a Mohammedan is anticipating death, he is suffering from such a disease, and there is every possibility of his death. At that time, he can make a gift, and that is called donatio mortis causa. So nothing in this chapter relates to gift of movable property. So gift of movable property made in contemplation of death or shall be deemed to affect any rule of law. So here, at the time of contemplating death, in contemplation of death, or of any movable, so far as movable property is concerned, can the Mohammedan make a gift of immovable property under the provisions of Mohammedan law, that is donatio mortis causa? Section 129 makes it clear that this chapter relating to gift of immovable property made in contemplation of death or shall be deemed to affect any rule of law. If there is any rule of Mohammedan law, so far as gift of movable property in contemplation of death, then in such case, this will not affect the provisions of Mohammedan law. So now we have this. So far we have discussed the entire provisions, all the provisions relating to gift. In the next class, we will discuss the provisions regarding transfer of actionable claim. Let us conclude. Thank you all.